Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing great today. We're going to be pulling some general messages for all of the signs, but I am going to be front loading with some astrology. I'm going to timestamp below in the description. So go into the description box if you don't want to listen to the few minutes of astrology beforehand. But enough of you are enjoying it that I want to front load it with it. So let's talk about some of the main transits from January 13th to January 19th. I do have Sam and Charlie, my two meditation buddies, hanging out with us today. I never did introduce you to them, but anyway, let's get right into the energy. So we're all going to be still dealing with the stellium that we had in Capricorn last week, making us think about our role in life and relationships and goals and ambitions, and it's going to be something a little bit different for each of us. The houses that it's hitting for each of us is going to be a little different. And the main house for your archetype I am going to be mentioning in the individual video, so I don't want to get into that now, but let's get right into how we have Venus entering Pisces. I really like this. This is beautiful. It's entering on the 13th of January. It's going to be there until February 7th rather, I'm sorry. Pisces is such a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful fishy energy, sees life in rainbow colored dream kind of things, and is ruled by Neptune. So, things that are Neptunian are very dreamy. Remember, Neptune, for those of you who didn't know, is the father of the emotions, right, in mythology. So in there with Venus, the goddess of love, and also how we think about our connection, how we think about money, our connection to money. So we're going to be thinking about all of these things. And we're going to be getting into a space where we're just going to be embracing things more, where we're going to be able to forgive and understand and just embrace some new ideas and a new way of thinking. There's also, because it's Venusian, there's something very seductive about this energy. You can be very seductive, you can be very, seducible, but regardless, everyone is really compassionate pretty much in this energy to partners of all kinds. So that could be both intimate and business, but this is a very tender and affectionate energy, even though you may experience a sort of longing that's hard to ignore or even define in your soul. And if you're feeling that, it's okay. It's going to feel like a little bit of an echoing, right? This echoing. And again, that's just Neptune. Okay, so just, kind of put it in perspective. Understand that in this energy, it's common for boundaries to feel blurred, having some issues with that. And for those of you who might be susceptible to the shadow side of this energy, for whatever reason, you might end up feeling in a way like you feel victimized or deluded about a situation. You're trying to find yourself very much evading a certain truth or reality, all right? So but that's not for everybody. For the most part, this is really very much a beautiful, compassionate, very nice vibe, and it's going to end up lightening up when Mercury ingresses into Aquarius, okay? So we have, but going back to what I just mentioned about Venus entering Pisces, you want to look in your chart to see where is your Venus fall, where does your Venus fall, and where is Pisces in your chart. And those areas are going to be feeling that deeper level of compassion, that deeper, the seductive qualities. You're going to be feeling it even more in there. Now on January 16th all the way to the 23rd, we do have Mercury's ingressing into Aquarius. We'll be there until the 3rd. This is very positive transit, guys, very positive. So you want to think about, where is Mercury in your chart? So you want to look for Mercury, Gemini, or Virgo, right? Because those are ruled by Mercury, as well as Aquarius, right? Or Neptune, because Neptune rules Aquarius. But this is where we're just going to be hungry to learn and grow and open up. A lot of new ideas are coming in, very original ideas. We're going to be thinking out of the box here, which is really cool, right? Because think about Uranus. That's what Uranus does. It's surprises, but it's change too, and different ideas coming in. And we're all just naturally going to become more, not overnight, mind you, but these things are going to start hitting us, where we're going to start identifying how we're becoming more progressive and objective in our mindset, kind of across the board, where there's this a heavy energy of inventing and progressive thinking at its peak for both personal and professional circumstances in your life. And the only thing here is Mercury's doing a little square in action here with Uranus the last couple of days, and you have that with the Mercury in Aquarius. So this ends up creating this kind of weird angle where it's that bullying energy that I mentioned when I did the monthly. I don't want you to worry about it too much because it is a positive transit, but this is definitely a good, like, to be forewarned, to be forearmed. If somebody is being really abrupt with you, or you find yourself losing your marbles over somebody else, for something that they did, really just try to reconnect and ground yourself and understand that that's just the energy and it's going to pass. So just kind of like let it pass if you can. And then we do have on the 17th, we have the last quarter moon in Libra, and this is where you might be feeling a strong need for balance and harmony now, right? You desire to keep things nice and copacetic. You want to make sure that you don't do that at the like cost of holding back both your good and bad feelings. This is very much because you guys are tarot people, like a Four of Pentacle vibe, where you might feel this need to protect yourself and just protect the peace. You just don't want nonsense. A lot of us are going to be feeling, kind of afraid to be who we really are, despite what's expected from us, just because we want to keep the peace. So that's definitely there. But we do have Pallas entering Capricorn, and I really like this because this is just about creative intelligence, hard work, getting stuff done, getting good stuff done, and that's it. As far as the important transits go, that is what we need to be mindful of this week, guys. Now let's pull some cards. See you in a minute. Hi, Virgo. I hope you guys are doing great today. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be doing general messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And let's get right into this, guys. So you have a lot of activation going on in your 5th house, which is naturally associated with the Sun and Leo. So this is going to be a time where it's going to be you honoring the urge to distinguish yourself as unique and special by expanding and extending the influence you have in your life in areas of creativity, areas of self-expression, hobbies, all things fun. So this energy wants you to think about what kind of person ignites your passion, Virgo. Really ignite your passion, and for you to think about what happens during the love affairs of your life. Really getting in touch with that. This is about tapping into the joy you feel when being loved and connecting with your inner child. Also really recognizing, for those of you who are in the space where you have kids, really recognizing what your children are like and what you might project onto them. I mean, this is a house of play and fun and personal flair for Virgo. So this is really going to be a theme for you the whole year, but you're definitely going to start feeling movement in this area starting this week. So really like it. We're going to pull one card for your crowning energy for the whole week, then a gift and a challenge. Let's get right into this. Oh, the moon. The moon is your crowning. I like this. This is really about you getting in touch with yourself and parts of yourself that you really haven't been looking at. And it's not because you haven't been able to, right? Our psyche has an interesting way of protecting us in a way, revealing things to us over time, that we maybe wouldn't be as open to at other times in our life. So the gift we have is the 5 of Earth, which is the 5 of Pentacle energy. And the challenge is the 6 of Water. Okay. So 5 of Pentacles as a gift. Okay. So, I mean, I kind of like that because that's you getting in touch with an area in your life where you're just like, you know what? I really don't feel connected to this anymore. I really don't. I don't feel supported in this area. I've been doing this hobby or this thing for fun, and I don't feel support. I don't feel like I get what I need out of it. This is you recognizing, like, people that you've been going after as far as relationships go, it ultimately ends up fizzling out because you haven't been super in touch with what really ignites your passion. You just haven't been able to really find that in somebody, right? But there's a recognition of lack in a certain area that's going to be motivating change. And because the moon really does, while the moon is what we do in private, it's a very internal energy. It's a Cancer energy. But what is Cancer? Cancer's love and home. And what resonates with us as home, and that really is the moon energy. And really getting front and center with things that, ways that we've been limiting ourselves, right? And as far as creatively and in your career and things that you do out in the world, like where have you been limiting yourself? Where have you not been getting really front and center what speaks to you and it's coming out in this energy. Because I have a very Jungian approach to the moon card. I really think it's more about us tapping into these inner recesses inside of us and kind of unpeeling and unpacking these things that not because we were not emotionally intelligent enough to unpack them before, but just because the time wasn't right and our psyche didn't feel us ready enough to actually gain the benefit from recognizing certain things about ourselves, right? Very interesting how that ends up happening. So yeah, I do feel like a lot of you guys are really going to be deeply getting in touch with these ideas this week. And also the moon card does also work. A lot of people don't really talk about it, but the moon does also illuminate a new path for you, you know, and you hearing whispers and echoes of advice from like this Cancerian energy. So some of you might have a Cancer in your life, or you might have a lot of Cancer placements, but where there's this idea of like just these messages are going to be coming from this recess within you, from a place of love and a place of home, and really pushing you to tune in with this idea of home and what it means to you. And it doesn't have to actually be your home, like where you sleep, but metaphorically, like things that you do that feel like home to you. Do you know what I mean? So now in your recent past, we have the Seven of Swords energy. So the Seven of Swords is a card of thievery, and in the reverse, it does indicate conflict. So this does tell me that you were in conflict with somebody in the past. Certainly could have been inner conflict as well, but really about what's true, what's not true, and what's your truth and what's their truth, and nobody really agreeing on the same perspective of something, but there being a nastiness about it. I don't care for this energy. I really don't, because typically it's a messy energy. And you know, I do like to recognize that the cards all have a good and a bad vibe, right? Depending, like even the archetypes, right? We can function high, we can function low, right? The good part of this is that there's a lot of air clearing, right? Because swords are thoughts and words and communication, and this does indicate things coming out because it's in the reverse, but it's happening in a way where there's like a lot of deflection and blaming and gaslighting and you have something wrong with you, kind of energy, you know what I mean? But then we have the King of Wands. So this happened in the past, but it was something that you felt very passionately about. There was a lot of passion here for sure. So you felt passionate about it, but it was this idea where it just wasn't working. You know, it was like somebody was twisting your words around, somebody kept misunderstanding you. It was just this constant feeling of being misunderstood. And that constant feeling of being misunderstood can definitely lend to this Five of Pentacles energy, where we're feeling this sense of lack. And I mean, and it really is more of a mental lack than anything else, right? It really is. So now, again, this can have to do with an intimate relationship, or this can have to do with a job. Now, in the past, if this has to do with a job, this has to do with you having a lot of passion for a job, but the job description looking a hell of a lot different than what you ended up doing in the 3D. The money wasn't what it was supposed to be. The hours weren't what they were supposed to be. You didn't feel supported. You didn't feel like you were being, connected. It just, you were feeling this sense of lack, right? Things just didn't roll out the way they were supposed to. But right now we have you being the Emperor, and we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is fate. So everything that's happening right now, Virgo, is all about fate. This is driven by fate. Everything is supposed to happen exactly as it's happening right now. So just rest assured that. And I get that you're very much the Emperor energy here. I'm really loving this. This is you being very connected and tuned in to what's necessary to move your life forward in the way that makes you happy. It doesn't mean that it's here yet, but it's you recognizing what you need to transform your life. And you're getting very honest with yourself here. So I do like that, especially with this fifth house energy. This is really, really cool, because this is you tapping into your creativity and really getting front and center what drives you, what makes you excited, what makes you feel passionate. Now the block here is we have the Hangman energy and the Three of Cups energy. Okay. I mean, certainly this is you being very pensive and thinking back to, this can be thinking back to a relationship that you had once upon a time, for sure, where there was a very celebratory vibe within the relationship. For others of you, this could be you being in a place of pause and you feeling challenged by this right now because nothing's really happening and you feel that you really want to move something forward, but you're in this place of pause. Okay, and it's all in an attempt to bring yourself to this happier place, but it's like you're not feeling connected to the ideas just yet, and this is a challenge for you. Now, if it has to do with a job, this could you being finding yourself in the pause position because you can't move yet. You just can't. You haven't either found another job, or you have to figure out a way of redefining your role where you are right now, but you're in the space of waiting. But in the space of waiting, you're actually thinking about things. And I do like that with the moon energy there. You are thinking about what's necessary for you to actually feel like you're successful in things that deal with your heart space. I mean, that's the 5th house. It's anything that deals with, fun and your passion and your children. And gambling is also involved in this. If you guys like gambling, those of you who like it, that's not for everybody, but gambling is found in the 5th house. Anyway, that's the house we look at for that. And then in the outcome energy, I love it. We have temperance. Temperance is the alchemical card about really figuring out, mixing together what you need and what a person or a situation needs in order for a certain outcome to happen. And it's almost impossible to have this exist without there being some sort of healing or recognition or something. But there's this coming to terms with something, mixing the old way with the new way of thinking to create this brand new thing, right? And we have the 3 of Wands reverse, and this just, okay, you're just not sure how it's going to happen. You're just not sure. And I've been saying the whole month of January, we're not supposed to know how. We just really need to get in touch with the whys of it all. Why do I feel like this? Why did this happen? Why? And not in like a lamenty kind of way, but it's more of like just recognition, all right? Where are the lessons here? Why did this happen? Okay, cool. Now I know I need to make changes in this part and that part and the other part of my life, right? And so the temperance happening, but that now it's like, okay, I'm ready to go, Joe, and like, okay, I don't know where to put my first step. I'm not sure of what that looks like. You have the passion for it. You definitely have the passion for it. And this is really, really good. And in the reverse, it just indicates that there's something standing in your way from being able to execute a movement forward right now. Now, that's going to be different for all of you, whether it's that you can't leave your job just yet, or that, you still feel energy connected to a person or a relationship, or maybe it's that you want to move forward into something. You really are very excited about this new project, this new idea, this new job, this new something, but maybe your partner or a family member are not very supportive of you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to do it, but they just mean energetically that could be getting in your way. Getting in the way of, because it's delay. The 3 of Wands is all about delay. It's going to happen, it's just not going to happen right now. Remember, we're energetic beings, so don't be put off by any of the reversals ever. It just means it needs to be hyper-focused, and understand that we have the power within ourselves to make the choices to turn the energies right side up. So the gift here certainly is identifying where the lack is and really thinking through what that means for the overall trajectory of your life, and recognizing that you are in charge of your life. No one else is driving your life but you, Virgo. And you guys know that cognitively, but it's like viscerally. You want to make sure you're recognizing that as you're moving forward, that you're allowing things to unfold and not giving anyone enough power to get in the way of those things unfolding, okay? But really good, because that, I like the element of connection there that I'm sensing from you. And that Emperor energy is really nice. So now let's look at your challenge. The 6 of Water, you're remembering something from the past. You're feeling very reminiscent. This could have something to do with your children, something to do with your child home. Tapping in, having trouble tapping into your inner child, having trouble dealing with something from your past. And when I say trouble in that way with the upright, it's like something happened in your past that you're missing, because this is as a nostalgia here, okay? And this is also the card of reconciliation, just so you know. I mean, it's one of the few in the deck that does indicate reconciliation. Doesn't have to, but it could, for those of you who that applies to. But it's you thinking back to this time, this space, with so much missing, and to a point where it's kind of getting in your way. So I feel like for some of you, when I'm talking about reconnecting with your passion, some of you are thinking back to a past relationship that you identified as being very passionate for you, and you just maybe not finding a relationship that did that to you since then, you know? You remembering back to a time when you did a certain job, or you were in a career that really spoke to you on so many levels, and just really missing that feeling of feeling excited. Or, you know, maybe, you know, having to do with a hobby, you know, and you reflecting now, I used to do this hobby and I used to do it in this way and I loved it and I was so passionate about it, but maybe you just can't do it in that same way anymore, and you're feeling like you're really missing. So a good example of this would be like, let's say, you know, you're a professional dancer and you've reached a point in your life where you're just not capable of doing the same things anymore. Or you were at one time like super into working out. Maybe you even competed, right, within that sector. And you're at a point now where it's just enough for you to like just stay in really good shape, but you don't feel that same passion, right? But you're missing that passion that it once ignited in you. So there's this idea of a missing. So it can be a person, it can be a job, it can be a hobby, anything that speaks to you. But there is definitely this missing and this feeling of nostalgia, and tapping into your inner child. For many of you, really looking at your relationship with your children and how it's rolled out over life, you know, and missing when they were small and all of that stuff that we all go through from time to time. Okay, so in the recent past, having to do with this challenge, whatever this is about, we have the Eight of Swords energy, which is about self-imprisonment, and then we have the Temperance energy. Isn't that interesting? So it's like you were in a space, you're feeling very self-imprisoned by this memory, because you're recognizing and remembering that there was a fairness to this thing in your life. Whatever it is that you are feeling nostalgic about, it made sense in your life. There was a sensibility, there was a balance. You felt balance. There was a sense of balance there. And now where you are right now is the Knight of Swords. You're being front and center with your truth and the Three of Wands, and really trying to look forward and really moving your life ahead and recognizing, this is you recognizing now as a challenge, though. It's your challenge, recognizing. And this, I kind of feel like the challenge here is connected to what the gift is, only because the gift was the Three of Wands in reverse. And now here with a different deck, we have the Three of Wands upright, but this is your challenge. So your challenge here is moving past this memory, moving past this nostalgia, moving past the thought of reconnecting with this thing, right? And you're really just getting this, having a great challenge right now with this Knight of Swords energy. You're being front and center with the truth, but having a really hard time with it. You're having a hard time with admitting something to yourself about this thing that you're feeling nostalgic about. So yeah, the challenge here is the Fool is in reverse, is a lack of willingness to move forward, right? And so this is like a real challenge for you to move past this feeling of nostalgia. It's a challenge for you to not feel this desire for a new cycle, to not feel the passion, to go back to that. The Page, it's a court card, so it could be you, it could be another person, it could be the situation, but the Page is the youngin of the court, and this indicates a new cycle within something that already existed at one point, and you're feeling very passionately about it. but you're feeling like you're not able to move forward in it for one reason or another. So maybe it's that you haven't spoken to this person in a long time, or when things ended, they were ended in a really weird, bad way. Or if it has to do with, you're just not, from a pragmatic point, if it has to do with a hobby or something that you enjoy doing at one point, from a pragmatic standpoint, you just can't go back to that, right? So apply it however you see fit. What we have is, in the outcome of this challenge here, is the Ace of Pentacles reverse and the Magician reverse. So this is indicating that a new cycle is not going to begin within whatever it is that you're reflecting on. And, we have the second alchemical card, which is the Magician, but it's just not happening. The Magician reverse is also the trickster energy. So this can be you really tuning into the idea that you're not able to have this new beginning because you feel like, oh, come on, now I'm fooling myself. I can't go back to that. Like, this is just your challenge. Your challenge is seeing this new beginning. Your challenge is in making it happen. This is where your challenge is in taking the chance to actually try to make it happen. We need to pull cards. Come on now. We need to pull cards. I mean, there's a lot of missing here. There's a lot of missing. And this is something that really spoke to you. So let's go 4 cards across for qualifiers, please. 8 across if I need more. 7 of Cups, yeah. I mean, Virgo, look at this. 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Wow. All right. The 7 of Cups, you guys know my spiel about this. You know what's in 5 of the Cups. You don't know what's in 2 of the Cups. And the thing that's in 5 of the Cups is really awesome, but the other 2, you're just not sure. So, that ends up creating doubt. And this could be, for example, if you have not been with somebody in a long time or in a minute, for a minute, and you're just not sure how they're feeling about you. You don't know how they feel about reconnecting. You don't know really fully what's been going on with them. And, there's this level of vulnerability in those 2 cups, right? Having to do with you. Or you can be filling those 2 cups in with nothing but negative things. Like they would never want to try this again, or they were just, everything was wrong with them. At least I remember it to be that way. Why am I missing them? Kind of energy like that. Okay, so it's just this idea of just not knowing everything. You're just really not knowing everything. But then look, we have the 10 of Cups energy. 10 of Cups energy is 1 cup at a time over time, put up in that rainbow. So this was hard-won happiness here. And this is really telling me that you're identifying this person or the situation as you really being so connected and right where you were supposed to be. And that's where you want to be again. So definitely, this could definitely apply to that job. Like, I don't know, can I still do that? Can I still do that hobby? Can I still do that job? Is it possible for me to go back to that? To return to that workspace, if not to like get back into that career sector, whatever it is. But it's you really tapping into the fact that that's where you felt like passion. You felt like something was speaking to your soul. King of Pentacles energy. You know that this thing, this person, this situation, whatever it is, speaks to your soul on every connected level. Mental, physical, emotional. If it had to do with the job, you were making the money that you really liked back then. You had what you needed. You're reflecting on things in a very positive way. You want to bring this back into your life because you're identifying it as that kind of energy. And this does indicate a new beginning and a new truth. So it's a new beginning with a new truth. So it's not a revisiting to the way it was once upon a time so much as it's a reconnecting of the energy to something that existed at one time, whether it's a relationship, a job, a friendship, family member who you haven't spoken to, but it's with a whole new framework of reality, a whole new truth. Beautiful. Really nice. Beautiful. I mean, I like how this challenge goes. I'm glad I pulled the extra energy on it. So let's pull some cards for those of you in the space and open to relationship. So guys, I'm just going to pull a couple of oracles here. This is, going to apply maybe to those of you who are in deeply connected relationships already, those of you in a weird space, those of you who are still in each other's energy field, but you haven't been together forever. You know, I don't know what comes up. It's only one spread at the end of another spread, right? So try not to make it fit if it's not your story. Maybe we'll get you next time, okay? We do the best we can. Wait, don't rush it. Allow nature to take its course. I have to tell you, the oracles are cracking me up today. It's all like, no, wait, take a breath, wait, be patient, wait. It's all like, wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. That's going to make sense to somebody. So I feel like if this second, the challenge had to do with a relationship, this makes so much sense to me. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. There's got to be some sort of like reconnection, and then it's got to be, you know, that weirdness in the beginning when you reconnect. Lots of conversation. All right, let's see what we get from the Island Time Wellness. Talking, okay. Cupid's arrow, okay. Kisses. Oh, Virgo, I like this. Talking is interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email. Cupid's arrow. Have faith. Love is coming. Beautiful. Surprise invitation or meeting. Love it. Kisses, unconditional, loving, giving, receiving, affection, falling in love. All right, listen. I have to tell you, and I think I'm going to end up titling the video this, because this is such a reconnection to something. And it doesn't even need to be, like here it's definitely to a relationship, but I just feel like Virgo, so many of you are going back to something you used to do in a more passionate way with a new perspective. There's a hobby, a job, friendship, some sort of family connection, rekindling this relationship, going back and reconnecting with your kids. There's this re kind of thing. Just everything, but in a whole new way that's really going to be speaking to you on a very passionate level. I love it. Virgo, I think this is my favorite reading so far. Yes, yes. Guys, every blessing, love, and light to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.